Welcome to week 14 of the 2023 Madden NFL season. We're in the final quarter of the regular season, guys. There are the division standings heading into week 14. There are the NFC playoff standings. And there are the AFC playoff standings. By the way, I did make a mistake. So I don't know if you guys seen the comment in last week's video, but last week I did say that the Chiefs did not win their division yet. Well, I was wrong because I was thinking that the Chiefs and Broncos had to play each other again, but then I realized that they already played each other twice. So if the Chiefs were to lose out and the Broncos were to win out, that will put them both at 11-6. But because the Chiefs beat the Broncos twice, the Chiefs would have the tiebreakers. So in that case, the Chiefs have already clinched the AFC West. So I apologize about the mistake. As of right now, the Chiefs are the only team to clinch a playoff spot because of winning the division. Everyone else is still looking to clinch a playoff spot. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's do it. So, kicking off week 14, our Thursday night matchup, you'll see the New England Patriots will be led by Bailey Zappi take on the Pittsburgh Steelers, who will be led by Mitch Trubisky. Bill Belichick's Patriots takes down Mike Tomlin's Steelers. Patriots win 25-17 over the Steelers. So for the Patriots, they now won 3 straight and will improve to 7-6. And as for the Steelers, they will now drop to 7-6. Now we're off to the 1 o'clock games as we'll start with the NFC South battles. You'll see the Tampa Bay Bucks take on the Atlanta Falcons. And by the way, if the Tampa Bay Bucks do lose this game, then they will officially be eliminated from playoff contention. The Bucks needed a touchdown to keep their season alive, but they don't get it. As the Falcons, they survive. They win 31-24. So for the Falcons, they get the season sweep over the Bucks, and they hang on to first place as they'll improve to 9-4. And as for the Bucks, their disappointing season continues as now they drop to 2-11, and they have officially been eliminated from playoff contention. Up next, we got the 4-8 Los Angeles Rams taking on the 9-3 Baltimore Ravens. And the Rams get an upset win over the Ravens. They dominated. They win 35-24 in the rain. So for the Ravens, this one's going to be a disappointing one as they're going to drop to 9-4. And as for the Rams, this was a big one. They needed this one to keep their season alive as the Rams will improve to 5-8 now. Up next, we got the Chicago Bears taking on the Detroit Lions. The Lions get a nice bounce-back win after a blowout loss to the Saints last week. They win 35-13. So for the Lions, they get the season sweep over the Bears to improve to 7-6. And as for Chicago, this was a loss that they did not need as they will drop now to 5-8. Up next, we got two teams that need to win to be in a better position in the AFC playoff race. As you will see, the Cincinnati Bengals take on my Indianapolis Colts. The Colts will get the win. They win 24-17. So for the Colts, they end a 2-game losing streak as they will improve to 6-7 now. And as for the Bengals, they've now dropped 3 straight. Not what they needed this late in the season, as now they will drop to 5-8. Up next, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Cleveland Browns. The Browns get a dominating win over the Jags. They win 45-13. They were just too much for the Jaguars today. So for the Browns, they get a huge one here as they keep their season alive. They'll improve to 4-9 now. And as for the Jaguars, they have now dropped just 1 game ahead of first in the AFC South, as now they will drop to 7-6. Up next, we got our other NFC South matchup. As you will see, the Carolina Panthers take on the New Orleans Saints. The Saints needed a field goal to tie the game or a touchdown to win it, and they failed to do so. So the Panthers hang on and win 28-25. So for the Panthers, they get another impressive win as they'll improve to 8-5 now. And as for the Saints, their NFC title hopes are slowly starting to slip away now, as now they're going to drop to 5-8. And our final 1 o'clock game will feature a couple of 4-8 teams, as you will see the Houston Texans take on the New York Jets, who will have Zach Wilson back. So we'll see how the Jets can do with him back. The Texans get a dominating win. They win 38-6 over the Jets. So as for the Texans, they've now won 3 out of the last 4 games, and they get a much-needed win as they'll improve to 5-8 now. And as for the Jets, they've now lost 4 straight. And it's looking like their season It's starting to slowly but surely come to an end as now the Jets are 4-9. Now on to the 4 o'clock games as we'll see the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Minnesota Vikings, who will welcome back Justin Jefferson. Even with Justin Jefferson, it still wasn't enough for the Vikings. The Raiders get a dominating 38-10 win. So for the Raiders, they get to live to fight for another day as they'll move to 4-9 now. And that's for the Vikings. They suffer the loss that they did not need as now they'll drop to 5-8. Up next, we'll have a rematch from a couple weeks ago as you'll see the 49ers take on the Seattle Seahawks, who will be without Geno Smith today. Well, the Seahawks gave it all they got, but it wasn't enough. The 49ers get the win. They win 42-28. So for the 49ers, they're starting to build momentum at the right time as they have now won 5 straight since returning from their bye as they'll improve to 8-5 now. And as for the Seahawks, they will lose 3 straight now since the first 49ers-Seahawks matchup as the Seahawks will now drop to 6-7. Up next, we got another division matchup, but this time in the AFC West, as we'll see the Denver Broncos take on the Los Angeles Chargers. The Broncos get another impressive win. They win 31-17. So for the Broncos, they're another team that's been going on a hot streak right now. They won 5 in a row as they'll now improve to 7-6. And as for the Chargers, their disappointing season continues as now they will drop to 5-8. In our final game in the 4 o'clock window, got a good one coming up as you'll see the Buffalo Bills take on your 2023 AFC West champs, the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Chiefs survived the Bills. They win 13-12. Not the game I was expecting, but it was still a close game. So for the Chiefs, they still continue to rack up their wins as now they'll improve to 12-1 now. And as for the Bills, they almost had it, but they just come up close as now Buffalo will drop to 8-5. Now on to our Sunday night matchup, which is going to be interesting because we have a 3-way tie for first in the NFC East. So these two teams right here are going to decide the tiebreaker right now. Wow, what a game. Possibly game of the year right here. But the Eagles, they get the season sweep. They win 42-31. So for the Cowboys, they're going to drop to 7-6. And as for the Eagles, they end a 2-game losing streak and they will improve to 8-5. And now they have a chance of first in the NFC East if they can get a Giants loss. Now on to the Monday night matchups. We got 2 of them. First up, though, we got the Tennessee Titans taking on the Miami Dolphins. The Titans get the upset win. They win 35-20 over the Dolphins. How about that for the Titans? They get a much-needed win, and they keep their season alive. They'll improve to 5-8. And as for the Dolphins, this one is going to be a disappointing one, but we'll see if they can bounce back next week as now Miami will drop to 9-4. In our second-to-last Monday night matchup, we got the Green Bay Packers taking on the New York Giants. The Packers make a nice comeback after being down 24-13 going into the fourth quarter. Packers win 27-24. So for the Giants, they're going to drop to 7-6 now. And as for the Packers, they get a nice bounce-back win after a horrible loss to the Chiefs last week as the Packers will improve to 10-3. And that's going to do it for Week 14. Congrats to every team that won their game today. There's a look at the updated division standings. That was NFC. Here's AFC. Here is the updated AFC playoff picture. The Chiefs are still the only team who has clinched a playoff spot. And not too many changes here. The only change is that the Broncos moved in and the Steelers moved out. And the NFC. The only changes were that the Eagles moved to first in the NFC with their win over the Cowboys and the Giants lost to the Packers. And then the Giants, Lions, and Cowboys had a 3-way tie for the last wildcard spot. Giants had a better division record, so that's why they get the last wildcard spot. No one's clinched in the NFC, however, a few teams can clinch next week. And the Bucs are the only team eliminated right now. However, there are a few teams that could be eliminated next week, both AFC and NFC, depending on what happens next week. And speaking of next week, there's a look at next week's matchups. Got some good games coming up, and there are no more bye weeks, so for the next 4 weeks, all 32 teams are going to fight for a playoff spot. Or if they're not fighting for a playoff spot, they're indeed fighting for their season. And that's going to do it. I'm Robert Magic, and I'll see you all next week for Week 15 of the 2023 Madden NFL season. Have a great rest of your day.